Okay, so here's our very first question. So we want to express root 12 in its simplest form, and we can do that by writing root 12 as root 4 times root 3. And of course, root 4 is 2, and times root 3. This kind of simplifies to 2 root 3. And for the second one, we're going to express this salt in the simplest form. We can write this as root 25 times root 2. And root 25 is 5, and that's 5 root 2. Now for 500, we can also write that as 100, that's root 100 times 5. And square root of 100 is 10, and that's 10 times 5, which is going to be 10 root 5. And then we move on to the next question, number 4. Express 20, root 27 in its simplest form. And we can write this as root 9 times root 3. And root 9 is 3, so that's going to be 3 root 3. And square root of 98 in its simplest form. That comes in as root 49 times root 2. And root 49 is 7. And 7 times root 2 is 7 root 2. And then, of course, for 48, we can write it as 16 times 3. Of course, they have both the square root sign. And square root of 16 is 4, and that's 4 root 3. And 5 root 8 in the simplest form, we can write this as 5, and root 8 comes in as root 4 and root 2. And root 4 is 2, so that's 5 times 2 times root 2, which simplifies to 10 root 2. And for this, we can also do the same. 4 and root 18 will be simplified as root 9 times root 2. And root 9 is 3 times 4 and times root 2, which will reduce to 12 root 2. And for this, you can simplify this by going like 2 and simplify root 200. That's root 100 times root 2. And root 100 is 10 times this 2 here times this root 2. So the answer is going to be 20 root 2. And the same for this, we can simplify this by writing 9 times root 4 times root 5. Root 4 is 2, and then times it by 9, and then times that by root 5. And then 2 is 18, so that's 18 root 5. And for this, we can also do the same, but root 7 times. Now, we can simplify root 240 as 664 times 10. Yeah, and 64 is 8 times 7 times root 10. And 7 times 8 is 56. 56 root 10. And then with the next, so we can simplify this as 5 times root 8 times root 10. But I know 8 here can still be simplified as root 4 times root 2. And of course, this is root 10. Now, root 4 is 2. That's 5 times 2 times, of course, you multiply this and this, that's going to be root 20 here, right? So that's going to be like 10 root 20. But then, again, if you want, root 20 can be split further as 10 times root 20 can be split as root 4 times root 5. And root 4 is 2 times this 10 here. That's going to be 20 root 5. Now, the reason why this is kind of long is because I should have used a much a factor number that was easier to work with, maybe like 16 and 5. That would have been a lot easier. Okay, that would be a lot easier. Um, because let me just show you. So suppose say I use 16 and 5 for this, then you will see why it can be shorter and still give me the same answer. All right, I just want to show you another way of doing it. I should have used 5 times root 16 times 5, because 16 and 5 gives you 80, right? And that's 5 times root 16 is 4, and root 5, which also is going to give you 5 and 4 is 20, 20 root 5. Okay, which is the same answer here. It all depends on what you want to do and how skillful you're able to notice some one or two differences there. And for this, you can do this 3 times root 36 times root 2 because the multiplication of the 2, and that's 3 times 6, okay, times root 2, which is going to be 18 root 2. 3 and 6 is 18, okay? And then for this, you need to work out this, give your answer in the simplest form. Now, if you multiply root 6 and 83, it definitely gives you root 18. But 18 can be simplified because it can be written as root 9 times root 2, which will simplify to root 9 is 3. So that's 3 root 2. And for this, is the same thing, 10 and 60. You can simply give it as root 60. But then you still can simplify this. Um, maybe you could say, uh, maybe you could say, 12 and 5, 12 times root 5, yeah, because 60, but 12 can be split further as root 4 and root 3 times root 5. So that gives you 2, root 4 is 2, and root 3 times root 5 is root 15. I don't think that's been found any further, so that's 2 root 15. For this, again, I think what you can do is to multiply the 2 and 5, and then multiply with 5 times root 8. And multiply 2 and 5, that's 10. And if you multiply with 5 and 8, that's with 40. But 40 can still be simplified because 10 times 40 would be something like root 4 times root 10. And root 4 is 2, and multiply that by 10 times root 10 here. And 10 and 2 is 20, so the answer will be 20 root 10. Now, of course, root 10 can be simplified any further than this. And next is for number 17. So this is 4 root 2. I know the 12 can be split as well. First, you have 2, and the 12 can be split as root 4 times root 3. Now, of course, the 4 is 2, so here is 2 times root 3. But on the left side here remains 4 root 2. So, of course, if you multiply, if you try to simplify this stays the same, and multiply this, that's going to be 4 root 3. And, well, if you multiply this definitely 4 and 4 is 16. And root 2 times root 3 is root 6. I think this is how far you can go. You can simplify this any further. So that's 16 root 6. The same for this one. I think I'll rather do the quick way. I'll multiply 2 times 3 and then multiply root 20 and root 5. Root 20 times root 5. And 2 and 3 is 6. And of course, if I multiply 20 and 5, that's going to be root 100. And I know if I find the square root of 100 is going to give me 10, and I multiply by 6, and the answer is definitely going to be 60. 6 and 10 is 60. And this, work out this, give you an answer as an integer. Now, this is root 6 multiplied or square is same thing as root 6 times root 6. And of course, this is going to give you root 36, which again gives you 6. Okay? Alright. The same for this one, root 5, 4, that's root 5 4 times. Root 5 times 5 is just 5. And root 5 times 5 is just 5. And 5 times 5 is 25. And number 21, well, you do 2 root 3 times 2 root 3 times 2 root 3. And of course, you can simplify this by multiplying 2 to 2. That's 2 times 2 times 2. And then multiply 3 root 3 times root 3 times another root 3. Of course, you multiply this out, that gives you 2 and 12, 2. That's 8 times root 3 times root 3, which is 3 times root 3. And if you simplify this, 8 times 3 is 24. So your answer will be 24 root 3. And for this, okay, so you have root 2 times root 3 times root 5. And this is multiplied twice. So that's another one here. Root 2 times root 3 times root 5. But this twice. And of course, this is multiply anyway. So you can easily open the brackets, and that's going to be like root 2 times root 2. Yep. And then root 3 times another root 3 here. And then root 5 times another root 5 on the second bracket. So 2 times root 2 is 2. And this is also 3. And this is also 5. And if you multiply 2 times 3 times 5, that's going to give you 30. Yep. Because root 2 times root 2 is 2. Or you could say root 2 times root 2 is 4, and square root of 4 is 2, and root 3 times 3 is root 9, and square root of 9 is 3. Okay, so that's just the way you get this. Okay, done. And number 23, you have root 3 raised to the power 7, so you're going to write that 7 times. 7 times, you do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3, okay? And this will remain the same as root 3. So 3 times 2 times 3 is 27, 27 root 3 in the form of any 3, so there's going to be 27 root 3. The next, so we have root 60 divided by root 3. Of course, one way you could do this is to put that one square root here and divide 60 by 3, which is root 20. And root 20 can be split as root 4 times root 5, which is before is 2, so that's 2 root 5. Of course, there are other ways of doing this, but I want to use this way because it's a lot easier for me. Number 25, you have this, divide this, and then give your answer as a plus form. Well, I think you write it as a fraction, okay? 48 is 2, 36, well, is root 5. So I don't think it's specified before that, so that's why it's 2 root 5. And for this one, okay, I can divide here by straight on. 9 and 18 is 2. And of course, divide 150 times 3. That's going to be root 50. Now, 50 can be simplified as 2 times root 25 times root 2. And 25 is 2. So that's 2 times 5. 25 is 5, sorry. And times that by root 2. 2 and 5 is 10. So that's 10 root 2. Yeah. And then for this, again the same, divide 5 by 40, that's 8, and 40 by 10 is 4. But you can simplify with 4 because that can be written at, well, root 4 is 2, so 8 times 2 makes 16, so that's 16. And then for this question, wow, so you have root 2 over root 5, and this is multiplied by itself again. So if you multiply root 2 and root 2, that's 2, and 5 times 5 is 5. So the answer is 2 out of 5. And this, you have root 11 plus root 11 plus another root 11. So that's definitely going to give you 3 root 11. Then for number 30, they have shown in the same number in the square root. So 3 plus 6 is 9. So it's 9 root 5. Kind of really split, right? And then next, you have similar sorts. Uh, 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. So it's 11. Oh, sorry, it's 11 root 7, right? 11 root 7. And for this one, you are going to multiply this twice. Wow, it's going to be a bit, well, not hard, but it may contain some working, bit of working. So let's really try that. So we have root 2 plus 6 root 2 minus 2 root 2. So we're going to multiply that by another same number. Root 2 plus 6 root 2 minus 2 root 2. So we're going to take them expanding one after the other. So root 2 times root 2 is just 2. Root 2 times 6 root 2 is going to be 6 times 2, that's 12. Root 2 times minus 2 root 2 is minus 4. Yeah, root 2 times root 2 is 2. 2 times 2 4. Next, we go with this next one. 6 root 2 times root 2. That's going to be 12. Next, 6 root 2 times 6 root 2. That's 36 times 2. That's 72. And 6 root 2 times minus 2 root 2. That's 12 times 2. That's minus 24. And lastly, you're going to take this one here to multiply again all the numbers in the second bracket. Minus 2 root 2 times root 2 is going to be 4. Next, minus 2 root 2 times plus 6 root 2. 12 times 2 is 24. And lastly, in the minus 2 root 2 times minus 2 root 2 is going to be plus. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So now we going to try to simplify this. Uh, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 12 is 24, is 14. 14 minus 4 is 10. 10 plus 12 is 22. 22 plus 72. Um, I think it's going to be a little bit hard, a little bit uh, tricky, but I think I just do my calculator thing. 2 plus 12 minus 4 plus 12 plus 72 minus 24 minus 4 minus 24 plus 8. I hope I got all the calculation right. If I got it right, my answer should be 50. Yeah, if I got it right. Mhm. And then for this one here, number 33, I think number 33, what we can do here is do 4 root 3 minus root 3, because they're similar. So that's going to be 3 root 3. And then you have 6 root 2 plus 8 root 2. That's 14 root 2. And I don't think we can simplify anything like this. So we need 3 root 3 plus 14 root 2. And then for this one, express this in the form of this. Well, this is kind of really straightforward because with 18 can be written as 9 root 2. We already know how I did that. Or not necessarily this way. I think there's a little error in this work here because with 18 is actually root 9 times root 2, and then I have another one plus root 2, and this is going to be root 9 is 3, that's 3 root 2 plus root 2, and that gives you 4 root 2. Okay, in this form, okay, so that's 4 root 2. And then for this one, it's simply the same thing. This is 2 root 3. So 35 can be written like 25 times 3. Yeah, and this will be 5 root 3, and you're adding it to 2 root 3. So if you add this and this, that's going to give you 7 root 3. And then for number 36 here, root 32 can be written as, I think 16 times, no, not 16 times 2, 8 times 4, what else? Numbers 18, no, 16 times 2, yeah, root 16 times root 2, yeah, plus root 8 can be simplified as root 4 and root 2, and root 16 is 4, that's 4 root 2, and square root of 4 is 2, so that's 2 root 2, and they have similar sum, 4 root 2 plus 2 root 2 will be 6 root 2. And number 37, again, you need to write this in the form of this, where a is an integer. We can simplify 500 to be something like root 100 root 5, and we simplify root 20 as just root 4 and root 5. And root 100 is 10, so 10 times 3 is 30, so 30 root 5, and 4 is 2, plus 2 root 5, and of course you can simplify because it's similar sort, so that's going to be 28 root 5. And then number 38, wow. So write this in the form of a root 7, where a is an integer. 9 root 28 can be written as root 4 times root 7 plus. Now, root 175. What for me, I think what two numbers multiply to give 175? Uh, this number is 35 and 5. But that isn't what I need. Okay, can use that. So that's like root 5, root 5, and root 7. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good. And this is minus 3 root 7. So root 4 is 2. Yeah, so that's 2 root 7. And this is root 5 and 5 is 25. That's 25 root 7. No, root 5 and 5 is 5. So that's 5 root 7. And this is minus 2 root 7. And then if you want this out, simplify this. 2 plus 5 is 7. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So that's 4 root 7 because they're all similar sorts. And yeah, for this one, Ross James is Swords person. And Swords writes this. Uh, well, explain the mistake. Well, what that means is you really cannot add this and this to give you this. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So you can say one mistake he made was adding root 300 plus root 12 to make root 312. No, you don't add it that way. No, you have to simplify each question, each number in the results, and see if they have any similarities. And if they do, probably you can do some adding. But if they don't have similar sorts, you don't add. Again, this is the last question. Well, okay, so work this out and give your answer as an integer. So I think I can simplify this quickly. The 30 is going to be like 10 times 3. No, 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 that's not it. 15 times 2. Okay, I can do this as a. Okay, I can do this. Well, hmm, this is okay. I can do with 30, 2 and 15. Yeah, or 3 and 10. Yeah, or 6 and 5. But I will leave it the way it is that way. I'll look at it later on. Root 30 is root 30. I will still simplify this times 5 root 6. 125 here is root 25 times root 5. Yeah, minus root 20, which is definitely root 4, root 4, root 5. And this simplifies this to root 30 times 5 is going to be 5. Root 30 times this is 180. And this is 5 root 5 minus 2 root 5, which of course you can simplify. 5 root 5 minus 2 root 5 is definitely going to be 3 root 5 at the bottom. But the top can also be simplified because 180 can be split as Okay, we split as 5, 180, 18 times 10, 18 times 10. Let me just work it out here. It's 180, okay? 180 is 6 with 5, that's 36 times 5, okay? Is 6 with 5, yep, which is the same as 30 with 5 divided by 3 with 5, and that's cancels out. So this cancels, and 3 to 30 is 10. So the answer here is 10. So this is a little more detailed work on simplifying um, source, really. Okay, thank you.